instead of your typical, hey, you'll kill 6 of these, hey, collect 6 of these, I've only had 1 of those. And actually there's a lot of nice little stories.
Guys over the music. Hold on, it's super loud for me.
Wait, who? Me?
Yeah.
No. I did it for the fraternity. Yeah. It sucks. I
can't hear you guys at all.
It's okay.
There's the button. Hello and welcome to another exciting episode of the Full Spectrum Podcast, everybody. We're all back. We're post-Goaty. Go ahead, Andrew. I'm sorry.
I just said we're here.
We have a new layout for the regular streams. That layout will not be on the podcast. The podcast will keep this layout, which I think works very well. But the other streams have a new. If you came expecting the new layout, this is the podcast layout. This is staying the same.
Yeah.
Andrew Chat missed you. The other thing, you missed the last podcast. Remember?
Nah, I was here.
The other thing is that on the Twitch side, if your comment gets caught, I will be trying to catch it. Twitch has now implemented the same style thing that YouTube uses, where it'll catch comments based on things it finds to be a problem. As we've seen, this can be really dumb sometimes, and catch things that aren't a problem as well. So I will have my eye on that as well as the YouTube side, keeping an eye on both of those, making sure they're okay. But yeah, welcome to the podcast, everybody.
Woo!
Welcome.
Good to be back.
New year. Hashtag New Year.
Post Goaty, man.
New year, new stream.
So,
Yeah.
real quick, before we get into weeks or anything, there are a couple things I wanted to say about Goaties. I can keep an eye on it, King, if you can watch the YouTube side. Just a couple things that we forgot. I forgot about the Torna OST for the top OSTs, Golden Land of Torna, because in my head it was Xenoblade 2's music again. It's not. A lot of that music is brand new, and I completely missed that. I'm sorry, everybody. That's a really good OST. It really is, especially that new battle theme. Andrew and I both forgot to bring up Ni no Kuni 2 in Best World. I actually legitimately think Gold Paw is a really good,
Awesome.
that's a great world, and I just feel bad that we forgot to mention it. And then because we have still been playing Red Dead for the streams, had I finished Red Dead in time, or even had I just got to the session I had this last week, I might have pushed for Arthur Morgan as best character.
Ooh.
Because some of the stuff that happened in this last week was some really good stuff. With Morgan's character wise. But hey. We can't get to everything in time.
No, it's just not. With only 3 people,
I'm not
it's
sure.
not possible.
Thanks, Alexa, for randomly chiming in for no reason.
Of course.
I couldn't tell if she said of course or a farce, but either one was offensive to me. But yeah, hey, hopefully within some time, we can hit more games or have other opinions that can come in to help us cover more games, but we just can't cover it all, unfortunately. I watched the Easy Allies Goaties. There's 9 of them, and they couldn't cover every game, So
Yeah.
there's just too many games. I did never update the Twitch logo. You're right. I will do that this week. New logo for anybody that hadn't noticed. A little bit more professional looking. When Andrew first suggested a black background, I thought he was crazy. I was like, that's going to look terrible. I actually really like it.
That's the way to go. Black background. With
I think-
everything.
Well, and I think it looks really good, and it looks really good on the YouTube dark mode.
Yeah.
It looks really good on dark mode. It looks good on light mode too, but the regular one looks way too bright on dark mode. With all that said, though, I guess we should probably kick off the podcast. Who wants to go first?
I'll go first. Mine's short. I know I wasn't here last time, but I took out a bunch of stuff because I just don't remember. I don't really remember anything about playing them.
Right.
But I did remember Mutant Year Zero,
Yeah.
which last time I talked about it, I was having good fun with it. I put it down. Don't know if I'm going to pick it back up
Okay.
because of how it does hit percentages.
Okay.
I've found that the game must have something set to where it's like every X amount of shots below 100% will have a miss or something like that, because I play the game stealthy, and I've run into it a couple times before, but I was able to work around it. Play the game stealthy, so I have a setup where I force the crit on 2 of my guys, and then my third person attacks, and then the person dies. And that's how I play stealth. Well, it only does like 24 damage max. So anybody 24 HP or lower, I can stealth kill and help me out. Well,
I got you.
70. I would save it before my stealth attacks, and one character would have 75% hit chance. Okay, all right, use that.
Right.
Miss. That's kind of weird. It's kind of weird, but you know what? I'm gonna try to play it stealthy. I'm gonna reload. So I reload.
Yeah.
Do it again. Miss. Reload. Do it again. Miss. Reload. Do it. Like my character has to miss that shot, which infuriates me. That's not how percentages work.
Right.
My person does it's because it feels like it feels like at certain points it's like, you know what, we're gonna make you miss for the drama of it to make your plans go to crap.
Yeah.
And because of that, I can't move into position for 100% hit chance.
Right.
Because then I walk into somebody else's sight view and aggro them. So I kind of put it down because that's some bullshit.
Yeah, I get you. That's artificially raising the difficulty for no reason.
Yeah.
Other than just to make it harder.
Yeah.
Celeste.
Well, yeah, that game sucks.
I disagree, but I dislike the gameplay in
that game blows. That game blows.
I disagree, but I dislike the gameplay in that game.
I couldn't even bring myself to finish it.
Celeste is Andrew's Fortnite for Pat.
Celeste blows. I mean, I guess if they wanted to make a Super Meat Boy clone, it would have been cool in like 2005.
Shots fired.
But you know, what, 13 years later, nobody's asking for Super Meat Boy anymore, guys.
So yeah, year zero, not that great then, huh?
Yeah, it's better than Celeste. But then again, I'm pretty sure if I shit in my hand, it'd be better than Celeste.
Dang.
Demonetized. It's gone from Pat's Fortnite to Pat's Red Dead Redemption 2.
Yeah. The difference is Pat irrationally hates Fortnite.
Yeah, he really
There's
does.
reasoning behind his
That's true.
For Red Dead 2.
Pat, for whatever reason, Pat hates Fortnite almost as much as he hates Mimir. This is known.
Oh.
But it's still a fresh wound, man. You don't gotta open it up.
I'm trying to guide you to continue.
Give it time to heal. The only other thing I played, and I haven't played a lot of it, came out Friday, and I just haven't had a bunch of time to play. Ace Combat 7.
Yeah.
First Ace Combat game.
It's a good game.
It's like Metal Gear with jets.
Yes, it always has been.
Pretty cool. I really want to watch gameplay. I won't pick it up because I probably wouldn't play it, but I'd like to at least check it out.
It's a ton of fun. It has a VR mode that I haven't got to check out yet.
I haven't tried the VR yet either.
But there's only like 3 missions, but apparently everybody's saying it's the best VR experience ever.
I'm excited for it.
I like playing in cockpit view sometimes.
Oh, never.
You want the third person to see your jet?
There's a reason I play third person, and we'll get to it when we get to my week.
So I played a level that had like kind of smoggy clouds, like they were kind of like a dark colors like that. And I'm flying through it, and I'm afraid what's going to happen when I play VR, because I got sick at that moment in cockpit view because I couldn't see. Usually the clouds you can fly right through. It's a big old cloud.
So there's icy effects too, where water vapor can stick to your jet.
Well, and your jet will stall out if you're in the clouds too long.
Yep.
I'm in the clouds, thinking that I'm gonna, get away, swoop back around, break the missile lock, all that kind of stuff. Get in there. I look around. I'm like, okay, I may just fly up instead. Okay, no, I'm still okay. Now it's beeping at me. Andrew, you're gonna stall out here. You gotta find your way out. You go to third person mode, and I start spinning the camera around. I'm like, what the hell? And I got to the point. I'm up here. Somehow I was flying. This is where all the action's at.
Please, sir, if you're gonna use your plane like your hand is a plane, do it the right way. It's a plane. Please, come on. You never seen Macross Zero?
No, I don't watch cartoons.
There's a moment in Macross Zero where a character is just like, because they've grounded him and he's trying to tell him how much he wants to fly. Please continue.
My planes don't do that. Okay, that's not. Mine's a jet. Okay.
So are the Valkyries and Macross, but okay.
No, that's a plane. So all the action's happening over here. So I've kind of flew around to swoop around. Managed to be way up here, out of frame. You can't even see where my hand's at. Way up here, and I spin the camera. I'm like, oh, I literally got lost in these clouds, and I'm sick to my stomach.
Nice.
I'm having a ton of fun with it. I was irritated. I got an early story beat ruined for me. That's kind of like the whole setup of the game.
Yeah.
Spoiled on an article that came out the day when I was looking up stuff, just looking up coverage of it.
No spoodles in your articles, please,
yeah.
people. Come on.
I'm hyped for it. No spoiler warning at the top of the article. And then it goes down and it's like, well, you know, your character, and then this happens. And I'm like, no, what do you mean? Maybe this happens. And it wasn't, I figured like, okay, well, they spoiled it. So it's got to be like the first cutscene. Like it's the setup. It's not. Stuff happens beforehand. So I know the whole time that it's building up to this moment. I'm like, well, that's great. That sucks.
Yeah.
That I already know what's going to happen. But I don't know. I mean, I like it a lot. I plan on playing more of it. And I plan on playing multiplayer and checking out the VR mode.
Well, I guess if you don't mind, I'll tag in then, because I've also been playing Ace Combat 7.
Yeah.
I didn't want to do a first impressions video. I'm kind of the opinion that the first impressions videos, they don't do very well on the channel. And I don't have a lot of thoughts because I haven't played the game, you know? So I think what I'm going to start doing is instead of a first impressions video, do the early impressions video, like the 6 hours in video, where I actually have thoughts and things to talk about. Artak is right. It's because journalism hates everyone and everything. I love the Ace Combat series. I've played just about every game in the franchise. 7's real good, first off. Point that out. Story mode for 7's really solid. Online's really solid. I'll get into that in just a second. I have not tried the VR yet. That's the last thing I want to try before I do the impressions video. But I have probably already put 2 hours into the multiplayer.
Really?
Because, and we mentioned why I play in third-person view, I don't hit people a lot. I don't get a lot of hits with my missiles or with my chain gun, my bullets. I do sometimes. But I can dodge missiles like a maniac.
Uh-huh.
And so I play in third person, not because I need to, but because it's more satisfying to watch the missiles fly, like slide over my wing as I just barely dodge them. Because I love dogfighting in that game. Again, I'm bad at hitting people. I always have been in that franchise. Well, I normally rely on lock-on weapons to be able to hit them. And in the multiplayer, where it's like 8 people free-for-all, and everybody can target everybody, and there's planes flying everywhere and missiles flying everywhere. At one point, all 7 people were firing missiles at me, and the lady is just going, missile, incoming, like constantly. And I go into a dive into the canyon. Lightning is striking all around me as I suddenly pitch up and come back up, go into the yard to the left so the other missiles hit the rock face, and come up, stall so I can flip around quicker and just start firing down. I didn't hit anybody, but it looked cool. And that's what Ace Combat's always been about for me. It's just looking cool, flying a plane, doing cool stuff. I want the F-22 Raptor so badly. I'm going straight down. Go figure why, right? At Raptorian XD, ho-ho. But, like, the F-22 Raptor is at the end of that progression in one of the trees, and I'm forcing my way through. I love that this one introduces the hangar as a whole different, like, system than the previous games have had, where it's like, hey, do you want to unlock this plane? Well, instead of doing specific things in missions, now you just have to build up enough currency, and you can get the currency either by playing missions or multiplayer. And you get quite a bit, even if you don't get a kill and you die in the match. You still get like 46,000 MRP just for playing.
Wow.
Like, it's really good. So, all the Sidewinder upgrades, they're top-notch. I really should then. I am loving it so far. I really like how the story is, like, split, is how I would word it, to not spoil anything. And I'm really enjoying it so far. The voice acting is top-notch, as usual for the series. It looks amazing when ice begins to like form on the side of the wing and you go into a spin that causes that wing to get caught by the sunlight and the ice begins to melt. Oh, it's so good, man.
Even just the wind.
Yep.
The wind like heavy wind pushing against you.
Yep.
You feel it in the controller. I mean, it's great.
There are so many moments where I'm playing that game where I just want to go, woo! Because it's so good. It's so good. There were things to chat's point. There were things I liked about Assault Horizon. But it's definitely a lot more fun, I would say. That's quantifiable, right? Yeah, everybody's got the same amount of fun from everything, right? But in my opinion, it's more fun because it's just more everything, I guess. Like the planes, you feel the speed better than you did in Assault Horizon. The combat feels better than it did in Assault Horizon. The missiles actually have like soft lock on them, which is really cool. Whereas in Assault Horizon, it was either you're locked or you're not, you know?
Yeah.
You have just the way the plane is able to control now, where by just shifting the back panels but not the side panels, you can dip or pitch and be able to completely like shrug off missile locks or have a missile almost on top of you and just barely like dip down and the missile misses you because it was trying to hit that exact spot. Yeah. And like everybody can do that. Makes it so much more interesting. I'm really liking it so far.
It's awesome.
Firing off 8 missiles
Yep.
at the same time with a special weapon and taking out 8 drones.
Yep.
Is amazing.
There's also a really cool dumb thing that I love, which is where when you beat a mission, it replays the mission for you. And you can watch the mission of you flying that plane from outside the plane, like watching it soar by, and you can like turn off the radio chatter, you can increase the speed to be able to get through stuff faster, you can turn off the sound effects and the background music. Like it's real good. I would say so, Artaka. I think the fun is just legitimate fun in this one, whereas in some of the other, like Ace Combat 2, for instance, had some difficulties. But the early game was great, and then the like towards the end of the game it got super hard, and the only way to really like get a good effect on it was to kind of cheat the systems a little bit. That's my opinion. I could be a lot of people like Ace Combat 2, but just my thoughts. I don't know. I think this one's really good.
I really like. I like the little briefings ahead of time, and it kind of shows you an overview of, you know, this is where you're at, where these are the kind of enemies you're gonna come up against in this mission. And then I like, you know, you have to choose a special weapon.
Yeah.
And so having to think like, okay, I'm gonna be fighting mainly ground units, so I'm gonna switch. I'm gonna have this, you know, these bombs or whatever. And I love the radio chatter that can completely change your mission objective based on what's going on.
Yep.
And then the little things, like some missions, you can play the takeoff or the landing. No reason.
Yeah.
Why
not?
You can skip it if you want, if you're a monster. But it just feels great landing on the aircraft carrier in the middle of the ocean.
I agree.
It's just the small stuff.
I agree. Yeah, Ace Combat 5 is still, in my opinion, the best one. 7 might take over for it, but Ace Combat 5 is still my favorite one so far.
Well, I have Ace Combat 5 since I bought Ace Combat 7.
I do too. I got it for free on PS4. It's really cool. Yeah. So expect a full stream of that at some point, because that game's really good. I have a lot of other stuff in my week, so I'm going to try and make it quick, because we took off last week for the Game of the Year. There were 4 RPGs that I played that I wanted to play because people said they were 4 of the best RPGs of the year. Crosscode is a MMO style, but single player, where you are a character in an MMO, but the MMO is not a game. It is a game, but it's also your consciousness is being projected into a robot on another planet, and that's where the game happens. I think the world and the quests and everything are super cool in that game. I think the gameplay is terrible. I really hate the gameplay.
What's wrong with it?
It's the melee combat is okay, but so much of it is kind of an isekai. So much of it is like throwing these orbs that the game calls balls at things, and spheres, because you're a spheromancer. And the throwing spheres doesn't feel good, in my opinion. It's fine for puzzles, but for combat, it's not great. Then the melee, like, you have a little spin, but the spin doesn't get you as far as you would think it might. And then it just becomes this, like, throw, spin, bump, bump, throw, spin, bump, bump, you know? And I really don't like the combat rhythm at all. There are a lot of enemies that are completely immune to your attacks from the front, so you have to get behind them, but your spin doesn't cover as much distance as you like. There are enemies that are immune to melee, so you have to use the spheres, you don't have a choice. And the whole time you're getting introduced to these other characters that are these other classes in the game, and their classes seem super sick, and your class seems super lame, and you can't change, you're stuck to this class. And I hate the combat. I love the story, though. Like, the story's really good. The whole thing of your main character has lost her memory, and, like, on Earth. And so, to try and get her memory back, they're putting her back into the game she used to play.
Yeah.
To see if it jogs any memories and things like that. Which is kind of cool, you know. Intro took a while. But I want to play more of it, but it's very level-based as well, which is a problem since I don't like the combat, because you don't get a lot of XP for killing things, and very quickly we were out-leveled in areas we needed to be. And I was doing almost no damage to the monsters there. So it feels pretty grindy. And grindy plus I don't like the combat is a problem. Because I've got to do a lot of that combat to grind up.
For sure.
So at some point we'll come back to that, but that got pushed pretty far down the burner. What did not was Timespinner, Metroidvania that I was told I needed to play, that I was almost immediately floored by how good it is. So Timespinner, everything can level up. Your weapons can level up. You can get familiars. They can level up. You level up just by fighting. Your accessories and rings and stuff can level up and get better and do more damage and stuff. So basically at all times, whatever you're doing, you're getting better, you know? Like, you're improving, you're progressing in the character progression while you're progressing in the world. There's also a cool time travel mechanic that allows you to go back and forth between two different areas that are the same map, just in two different time frames, and you can interact with things in different ways. That game's really good, and it all ties into this story about this empire that is taking over all of this land, and your character wants to go back in time and murder the emperor before he's born, basically. It's pretty good. Pretty good. I'm liking it a lot. We're going to come back to it after we beat some of the other games that we had to beat for the stream, but we're going to come back to it. Also played Iconoclasts. Iconoclasts is pretty good. It's almost like a platformer, like an RPG platformer, where you play as one character who has a wrench and can equip different guns and things like that, and you find these other party members along the way, and they'll help you solve puzzles and things like that. There are a lot of puzzles to solve, but the combat's also really solid. It's got a really interesting sense of humor, a lot of jokes that really hit pretty hard for me, and then some jokes that didn't land at all. But it's pretty good. It's pretty good so far. I like it. I got stuck on a puzzle right at the end of the stream, and I'm afraid it made people think that I hated that game, but I really don't. I figured out right after I turned off the stream what I needed to do and got really upset with myself. But it's a pretty good game. I like it.
For some reason, I always think, anytime I see this game, I think it's when I see the name, I think it's a Smash Bros. Ripoff.
Yeah.
I have no... this is a completely different game than I ever thought it was.
It's really good. And then the last of the four is Moonlighter, which of all four was the one that I was told I would not like. And it might be the one that I enjoyed the most.
Nice.
It is a dungeon crawler, like Zelda 1 style, where you also run a item shop, Racketeer style, and you have to go into the dungeon to find things to sell in your shop, and then you set the price. And so it's basically two games in one. It is the shop management sim, where you can increase your shop and invest your gold and run things at different prices and find out exactly how much you can sell things for and get away with it. And then it's also a really competent dungeon crawler where the weapons play completely differently and the monsters are really cool, and your whole thing is that you're going in just to get enough equipment, you know. to be able to go back and sell. And so it's this constant give-take of, I could go a little bit further and maybe get some better stuff, but if I die, then I lose all this stuff that I've got that I could sell right now if I take it back, you know? And there are thieves that come in to try and steal stuff from your shop, and you have to stop them while also managing the register, because if you don't, people will leave and not buy the thing.
Yeah.
It's really cool, and I did not expect to get as hooked on it as I did, but we went a little bit long on the stream to go do a couple more runs.
Yeah, that game, when it came out, that I was super hyped for it, and I still am picking it up.
It's pretty good. Goes on sale, I would seriously consider it. And then the last three things I'll talk about real quick. Cromartie High School is a really old, great anime that I rewatched all of today while babysitting, because I could watch it on my phone while I was hanging out with the kids and they were playing on their tablets. It has one of my favorite dubs ever. It's really dumb and amazing, and the whole thing is like, this guy who is not tough at all gets sent to a delinquent high school, and everybody there's super tough, and he drops his pencil in the first episode, and this guy picks his pencil up for him, and he's like, everybody here is actually really nice, and the guy eats the pencil in front of him, and he goes, holy, no they're not. And it's just got a really, really solid dub that I think everybody should check out. At one point, two characters are having a conversation, and the anime is all comedy. And so two characters are having conversation, and to save on the budget for the episode, they just keep walking back and forth in front of the same wall. Like, in frame. It never changes frame. And they comment on it at one point. One of the guys goes like, why are we walking back and forth? And the other guy says, oh, because if we do, then we can save about $20 today in editing. It's just really good. Definitely worth a watch, I would say. Welcome to the stream, Will. Yeah, and there is a character who is just Freddie Mercury.
Nice.
So that's great. Red Dead Redemption 2, we're still playing. I really like Arthur Morgan. I broke the economy in that game by doing story missions. And now I have more money than I know what to do with. And I feel like the whole money system should not even have been in the game if they were going to do this to me. Because I'm walking around with $2,600. Most of which I got from story missions. I can buy literally anything I want. I have bought everything I need. And I still have a bunch of money. So, like, come on, game. What are you doing? Don't undermine your own systems like that. I would spend more time on that, but we've talked about my week enough already. The last thing I want to touch on is Blue Mage.
Woo.
Blue Mage is now in Final Fantasy XIV. I got it to level 50 this week. I've spent a little bit of time in the Masked Carnival, which is the instance that only Blue Mage can do. And I have thoughts. And I'm going to do a whole video on it once I have the rest of the abilities, I think. Or maybe just once I put a little bit more time into level 50 Blue Mage. I honestly think Blue Mage, for the first 25, 26 levels, was probably one of the most fun things I've ever done in that game. And you well know how much I love that game, you know? From 26 to 45 was a grind. Because basically from 1 to 26, I was always getting cool new abilities that did cool things. But then they stopped giving me more powerful abilities and just started giving me more utility abilities. And so it was just, I'm killing everything with the same move because it's the most powerful move that I have. From basically 25 to 45. Just that. And that's fine. Like, it, you know, it's grinding, it's leveling. You're supposed to do other stuff while you level it. You're supposed to get together with groups and run dungeons to get other moves that I did not get. I leveled for the most part completely in the open world. Once I got to 50 though and had access to dungeons that I didn't have access to before that I could go steal their abilities from, things began to turn around. With Blue Mage, the reason why you're not allowed to use it with everything else is because all of your status effects work on bosses for the most part.
Oh, nice.
So I can petrify bosses. I can paralyze bosses. I can slow bosses. I can silence bosses. I silence bosses by shooting a fish out of my mouth at them.
Okay. I like it.
Yeah, it's super broken and it's super fun. It is a little grindy. I want to warn everybody that. But I really, really like Blue Mage. I think it's really cool. The Carnival is a really cool instance where you fight specific monsters and have to use specific elements, moves that you have, that you gain to be able to like overcome their elemental weaknesses, you know? Yeah, you can lick them and pull them to you using Sticky Tongue, a move that has been used on me far too many times by mobs. So it was nice to finally get my revenge. And I think they did it in a really cool way where a lot of the moves don't just have to be learned by one specific mob. They can be learned by any mob that has that move. So, for instance, because I played a lot of the game and had a lot of knowledge where monsters were and who had what move, instead of having to try and fight with everybody else that was trying to go for the Cactuar, I could go to a leave quest that I knew, and then I could do it in the leave quest because I knew that mob spawned in that leave quest, you know, and then it was just me and the mob. And I just think that's really cool. I think breathing new life into old zones, and those zones are full right now. Everybody's everywhere, running around, leveling blue, getting abilities. Honestly, it was kind of a pain to try and get self-destruct. I wound up just going into a dungeon and getting it, because the one spot on one of the maps that bomb spawned had like 60 people in there, and people were trolling and killing them before people could see the moves. I just went into a dungeon and got it. But yeah, it's really good, I think. I need to get the rest of the abilities. I've heard the drop rate for the primal abilities are really bad. I had one person, Mr. Happy, told me that he did 75 runs to get one of the abilities. And I had another person tell me they only did 18. So
what's the primal abilities?
So the primals are the big like monsters, like Ifrit and Garuda and Titan, right. And you can get their moves, but because their moves are really good, I guess they made them a lot harder to get. And some people are getting them first try, but based on my experience with trying to get the Chimera's moves, probably not gonna be the same the case with me. But yeah, I really like it. I think if anybody that is watching this podcast has been maybe away from 14 for a while and has been thinking about coming back, Blue is pretty fun. I think you should at least give it a shot. That's my week. I know it was a lot, but we're caught up.
Fair enough. My week has been very rough, to say the least. I've had very little sleep. Had a lot of like emotional, personal stuff go on. So it's been exhausting.
But you're okay now.
Yes, I'm okay now. I'm just really tired. Played some Fire Emblem 6, which I missed a lot because we took a little bit of a break.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm about to start school, so
yep.
My life is about to get ridiculously hectic.
Yeah,
which is cool, I guess. This morning, I had to wake up after 2 days prior to today. I'd only had 4 hours of sleep, and I slept for 6 hours last night. Woke up at 7:30 this morning to go do community service because I am a part of an organization on campus.
Because he's a criminal.
I'm not a criminal.
Yeah. That was my first thought.
So me and everyone in the organization went and did community service, which was extremely exhausting. I raked and shoveled leaves basically for 3 hours and moved cinder blocks, which completely exerted all of my energy. And then I had to go shopping, and now I'm back, but I'm actually just really tired. So if I'm really quiet and kind of spacing out, that's why. So I apologize.
I just want to point out, Chad had the best comment. Pat is actually a Yakuza, and that's why he had to do community service. This is when Pat goes, and then shows the full tattoo. Oh.
So, yeah. So if I'm spacing out really quiet, that's why. So I apologize. That's also why I looked. But somehow, in the midst of all of my extremely tired and energylessness, I was playing Overwatch earlier before the podcast with my little brother, and I got play of the game with May, which is my first May play of the
character.
But it was a terrible play of the game. Like it should not have been play of the game. All I did was I threw down my ult, and Roadhog escaped by running out of it, but the Mercy did not, and I ran over to the Mercy and just like stared at her and then shot her in the head with my right click. That was the whole play of the game.
That's good. That's good.
So, it was a pretty cool experience, so I wanted to share that with you guys.
Yeah.
But other than that, I haven't really done a whole lot because, like I said, I had a lot of stuff going on. So
yeah,
I've kind of just been sticking to my bed.
I understand.
Yeah.
Well, from there we'll move into the podcast proper, I suppose. We do have a lot of stuff to go over. Around 4:35 my time sounds good. Speaking of, Gundam Game Day is this Saturday, so hope everybody can join us out there. As usual, one of the best GB3 Gundam Breaker 3 players in the world has deigned to spend some time with us for Gundam Game Day. That makes him sound more pretentious than he is. Will's a really nice guy. So we're gonna do Gundam Breaker 3 around that time. No joke, if you have not seen his creations and how he breaks that game, you need to see that. You need to come see the stream around 5 CT and see how he destroys that game. So tell me about Super Dragon Ball Heroes World Mission, because I didn't see anything about this. I was a bit busy with other announcements.
So, Dragon Ball. That's a big deal, right?
Yep.
Dragon Ball RPG. Hey.
Okay. I'm listening.
I like that. I like that. Dragon Ball RPG card game. Yeah. Apparently it's been a thing. There's a whole series in Japan. It's got like 3 games in Japan on 3DS. And it was in arcades and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But we are finally getting it stateside in Europe, April 5th.
Okay. I mean, I'll give it a shot.
Yeah, card game, non-canonical. Which, if you knew some about this, yeah, that makes sense.
Is Raditz in it? It's not canon. Raditz can come back, right?
He's there. He's in it. I'm seeing him die right now.
Oof.
Non-canonical.
Yeah,
Why couldn't they
see?
let him live? Goku? What if? What if?
What if Raditz turned out? What if Raditz and Goku switched places? And
Yeah.
Raditz was the hero.
Yeah.
Super Saiyan God Ra.
I want to see it now. What would
Blue
Raditz?
hair.
Would it be Radhan instead of Gohan?
Rad.
Oh
This is my
man.
son, Rad.
Rad goes Super Saiyan 2 and kills Cell. Yeah, I mean, I'm down for that.
I'm looking at some
Rotten.
fan-made artwork of Super Saiyan God Raditz.
Oh man. Rohan. Rhine. So yeah, while you look at that great news, for the last 4 days in Gundam Battle Operation 2, they have been hyping people up by saying 4 days till new Gundam game announced. And then 3 days ago, 3 days, obviously. And it just kept going. That game was announced. Because they were hyping it up in GBO 2, most of us assumed it was either GBO Next 2, because GBO Next is going away. They're shutting down the servers soon. In March, I believe. Or a game that had been heavily referenced lately in GBO2, you know? So we were thinking maybe like Zeonic Front Remastered or something, Zeonic Front 2, you know? None of us expected that game to be SD Gundam G Generation Genesis Crossrays.
I like SD Gundams.
I do too. I'm tentatively excited for this. I will say that never before have I been more disappointed and then more curious, I guess. Because how dare you, first off, hype it up in a game that has nothing to do with it. And make us all think something brand new was coming, and it's not brand new. It's a new game in a series that's been coming out for a while. Also, the last game was bad, in my opinion. G Generation Genesis. Just G Generation Genesis. Which I have on PS4. The problem with it is that it was too much of the previous game. Again, like same exact animations, almost the same exact cast of characters, very little changes made, not really a brand new story, and that was a problem for me. And so when I saw this, I was assuming it was going to be the exact same thing again. You know, just here we go. There are some things about this that have me hopeful, though. Crossrays says that it's the story of 4 worlds: Wing, IBO, Seed, and I had this all written down beforehand.
00.
And 00, thank you. No G, which is unfortunate. But I will say the inclusion of IBO alone means they have to make new animations. So I'm hopeful that they'll redo all the animations. And they did show one of the new Wing animations with Hiro Yui, where it actually has a cut-in like Super Robot Wars style. Yeah. And G Generation had not really been doing that. So that has me hopeful that maybe they're actually trying to make this combat look good. Because Super Robot Wars has continued to make them look more and more bombastic and awesome and cool for basically every attack, you know? And the previous stuff has, in G Generation, has kind of just been, you know, like, you know, there's the heavy arms, it's firing. That's it. There's no cool cut in a tro or anything, just... And this all leads to what King has just pointed out in the chat that I was about to bring up. The Gundam Beyond posters that we all got hyped for, and how it was the crossovers. They haven't said that UC's in this game, but I'm assuming UC will be in this game as well. And I'm assuming this game is what Gundam Beyond was referencing. Because these stories are all going to cross over together. So...
You know, I feel like Gundam is Japanese Warhammer when it comes to games.
Yeah, I agree.
They release a ton of games, and most of them are not good.
Yes, I 100% agree. 100% agree. And I'm hoping this one winds up being good. I really am. But I don't... This is my, like, negative Gundam fan Trey, always been burned moment. I do not think this game comes out and they do not just reuse all the UC suits that are in SGG Generation Genesis. Because this one's not called SD Gundam Crossrays. This one's called SD Gundam G Generation Genesis Crossrays. So I really think that's going to happen. I honestly do. And it's a huge bummer. You know, like, you promised a new game, and it is technically a new game. But it's not the new game anybody... I mean, there are some people that love that series, and that's all they wanted was a new generation. But I think everybody was kind of down on Genesis. And then here's more Genesis, you know? And it's like, Yeah. But what can I say? I'm still going to buy it, because I'm that guy. I'm that guy who complains and then buys it anyway.
The Gundam guy.
Like, I'm going to play it. I'm gonna have it on here. It does sound like an expansion. It really does. I'm going to have it on the channel. We're going to see it. We're going to play it. I'm going to have impressions. I may even do a review if I get angry again, like I did with New Gundam Breaker. But who knows? At least there's IBO new attack animations. That's, you know? At least I'm getting that. And we still got Super Robot Wars T coming out this year, and it's going to be amazing. Also, just want to point out, Will made it to the top 21. He's ranked 21 now in Gundam Breaker 3 in the world. So, yeah. We'll move on, though, because we do have some good news this week. Bungie has separated from Activision.
Yay.
They now own the rights to Destiny again.
Yeah, we'll see what happens, because somebody's got to publish that thing.
Yeah. They might self-publish. You never know. They've been banking in a little bit. Well, no, I bet I know what happens. Like, Activision was the go-to with them and Blizzard, too. But Blizzard has a bunch of people they know that they might be able to get Bungie some publishing through.
So here's what we do. EA offers them a ton of money.
Yeah.
Gets them on board. And then Titanfalls them. You see, they release Anthem, which will be the battlefield in this scenario. And they will Titanfall Destiny. And just say, oh, hey, yeah, we did release Destiny 3, didn't we? Whoops, sorry, we didn't market it at all. We didn't even turn the servers online.
Yeah. Oh well.
Whoops.
It's fine. I am glad for Bungie, but I do worry for Destiny 3. And what happens, like, my understanding is they were able to get everything from Activision.
Yeah.
So that's good. Because my first worry when I heard about this is, what if Activision still owns the right to the DLC? But, you know, hey, I want to go back to playing Destiny.
My thing, this is what makes a lot of sense to me financially. Or not, well, not, I mean, apparently they had problems working with Microsoft. They wanted to go do their own thing.
Yeah.
But Microsoft is shopping around right now, just throwing money at these studios. So now it's like, hey, Bungie,
remember us?
Work out without us? Why don't you come back over here and make Destiny exclusive? Dude, that would be bonkers.
It would.
That would make no sense, but that would be bonkers.
And then Bungie is like next door to the people making the new Halo.
Yeah. You got guys from 343 coming over like, hey guys, so got a question.
What does Master Chief really look like? Can you come over here and draw him for us real quick?
Could you come make Halo for us, please?
Oh. Well, speaking of EA, go ahead. You had an idea. Go ahead.
Microsoft buys Bungie, okay?
Okay.
Says, hey guys, y'all worked on Halo for so long. What if we brought you back into the Halo franchise? But y'all have had a lot of experience making kind of open world RPG type of games.
Yeah. Halo would be well.
What if we do a Halo? What if they combine Halo and Destiny?
Destiny could exist in the Halo world. All they got to do is add some dumb lore, and there you go.
A world just full of Spartans.
Yeah.
Now we're talking.
And then they let you play as elites too, and so then there's elites running around.
There's different races in Destiny. That's right.
Yep. And then you could also play as the grunts. Yeah.
Yes. I wish we could get a Halo game like Knights of the Old Republic.
Yeah.
I
just remembered some Halo news. We'll go ahead and pump it in right here because I just remembered some that I forgot to put on the docket.
What could it be?
Oh boy.
I don't know.
So speaking of Halo, 343 has just pushed through a new update to the Master Chief Collection.
Okay.
It updates the shooting to be more like Halo 5.
What did they do? I don't understand.
They updated the way the guns work to work like they do in Halo 5. Hey, did you want to play Halo 2? Well, you can't play regular Halo 2, but you can play Halo 2 with Halo 5's guns.
What?
You want to play Halo 3?
Nobody's buying the Master Chief Collection to be like, I want to play the new Halo.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Like, why would you do that? What are you doing? I do not know if it's a toggle or not. I just know that they did the update. Because I saw some people throwing a fit about it. I do not have the whole story. That's why I didn't put it on the docket in the first place, but I wanted to mention it since we were talking about Halo. I will have more details for you next week, I'm sure, because there will be full breakdowns of exact changes next week. I guarantee you, because people will not be happy if it is not a toggle. But we mentioned EA a minute ago. EA has canceled their open world Star Wars game.
Yeah, this whole EA licensing, Star Wars licensing deal is not working out so hot.
Not really. They're struggling a little bit.
Not so hot. Battlefront 2, not so hot. Can't seem to make anything else Star Wars.
Yeah.
Oh, they have Galaxy Heroes on mobile.
Yeah, that game's not doing that well either.
Yeah, they have it though.
Yeah. So that's not like a big topic or anything, but it's definitely something I wanted to bring up because I know there were a lot of people hyped for that game.
Yes, I want an open world Star Wars game. Damn it.
Yeah, I agree.
Give it to me.
Open world Star Wars would be really cool. But, you know, what can you do?
I want like an open world, like an Assassin's Creed or like a GTA. I want that.
Yeah. Give me Knights of the Old Republic, but open world.
Yeah, and then make it a shooter instead of an RPG.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm talking about. Like that world design where you can just go anywhere. So, go ahead.
No, it's just never gonna happen.
This is the elephant in the room. For at least I know myself and Pat, we have been waiting since last week, probably like Tuesday of last week, to talk about this. So Jump Force. There's a lot of Jump Force things we got to talk about real quick. The beta has been pushed back, the open beta, because their servers were on fire. They were able to do the first 2 tests, and a lot of people weren't able to play. So they pushed the other half of the second beta, the open beta, back. They added Boruto, Gaara, Kaguya, and Kakashi. And then because of an Instagram leak, we know that Jotaro and Dai from the Dragon Quest manga have both been added to Jump Force as well. This now makes 6 Naruto characters, 6 One Piece characters, and 6 Dragon Ball characters, 4 Hunter x Hunter characters, and 4 Bleach characters. And then 1 to 2 from every other show that they've included.
Yeah.
So, do you want to go first, Pat?
You can.
Let me real quick just add in too. Light Yagami has been confirmed not playable.
I definitely think that adding more Naruto characters isn't necessarily a bad thing if you add the right character.
Okay.
Kakashi, solid choice.
Yeah, I agree.
He's a great.
Boruto is really popular in Japan.
Sorry, world froze.
Boruto,
if I missed anything there.
Are you good?
Yeah, I think we're good.
Okay. Boruto, since he's so popular in Japan, is a good choice, in my opinion. Kaguya is the worst choice.
Yes, I agree.
As long as Kaguya is just a story character, I don't care.
She's not.
If
she's
Kaguya is
playable.
playable,
She's playable.
that's stupid. Who likes Kaguya more than Jiraiya?
Not even Japan. Not even if you're gonna add an enemy. Where's Madara? Where's
Madara
Itachi?
Is literally, Madara is the villain to add. And the fact that they didn't add All Might before they added Kaguya Why? Why?
You don't know that All Might could be there.
Todoroki.
Well, no, his point is that Kaguya was confirmed before All Might was confirmed. And I want to throw out, how the heck do we have 6 characters for 3 series before a single JoJo's character is confirmed? We don't even know if Gintoki's in the game. Light's not even playable. Yugi's in there, but we don't even know if Seto Kaiba's going to be in there.
Yeah, what about Pegasus? Could you imagine being able to throw tunes out there? That'd be amazing.
I would buy the game just to do that.
I would as well.
If it had Pegasus in it.
Yes.
So, there are some other things that I have problems with it. It's been confirmed that every character only has 4 moves. Which for some characters is like fine. Like that's their moves. They're like Goku has like Kamehameha. Man, I had the list pulled up a minute ago, and like that's the special moves they can do. That's it. That's the only 4. You cannot switch out special moves for them. Like they have those 4. Your creative character can have 4 special moves as well. So you can mix and match whatever you want, I guess. But for some characters, 4 special moves is going to be like great because that's all they got, you know?
Yeah.
But for other characters, it's like, man, you're going to lose out on half their good moves because they're stuck to 4 and you can't switch them out, you know? And this feels like a step back to me because in J-Star's Victory Versus Plus, as bad as that game was, you could switch the moves you had equipped to your character from their moves, you know?
Yeah.
And it's like, there's a lot I like about the game. I think the fact that the 3 characters that you choose all share a health bar is really cool. But as much as I love my boy Sanji, and I love Piccolo, and I love Kakashi, how the heck do we have 18 characters from 3 series, and we have a bunch of series that we don't even know if they're going to be in or not? We don't know how many characters we're getting. And we don't even know if Gintoki, Saitama, you know, Kenshiro doesn't have a villain yet, Yugi doesn't have a villain yet, Dai doesn't have a villain yet, Jotaro doesn't have a villain. If Dio is not in this game, but Kaguya is, if Dio Brando is not in this game, but Kaguya is, I will lose my mind. What are you doing, Bandai?
Like, that's just stupid.
Then you have, like, the beta times and everything. I lost a lot of faith in this game with the way they handled this beta. Because they didn't announce they were moving the beta back until it was time for the beta to go up. Like, until it was time for it to bump up. And then they pushed it back 3 hours. And I saw so many people on Twitter going like, but I got work in the morning. Like, I stayed up I could have been sleeping and got up to play this.
Yeah.
Like, man, come on.
Yeah, poor management there. That's like maybe there's some stuff wrong with the game that they're trying to fix last minute.
It's real close to release.
Yeah.
This is not good. Like I'm nervous that this game is not going to be good now.
Yeah.
Which like I wasn't nervous for.
Well, don't be nervous. Just know that it's not going to be good.
It worries me because the last 3 J-Stars games I bought are all terrible. And I was looking for this one to be the good one, you know?
Nah.
Pat, I would have taken Sakura over Kaguya.
Over Kaguya, yeah. I mean, yeah. I don't understand the Gaara pick. I'm not.
Well, like Gaara's really popular,
character.
You know.
Shut up, Pat. You're a moron.
Gaara's really popular.
I'm not saying. Yeah, I know he's popular. I'm not saying he's a bad. But if I'm picking people, I'm not picking Gaara. I'm picking Jiraiya. Like
I would have rather had Kawaki than Kaguya.
I want Gai Maito.
I'm still hung up on this blasphemy over here. Me, Andrew, a Naruto expert. Gaara has to be in this game.
Man, Jiraiya would literally be amazing addition to this roster.
I feel like it's too many characters from 3 series, you know?
Yeah, I agree.
Like, I would have preferred a 2-character or 3-character limit per series and get more series.
it's the 3 series that already have other games.
Yes, absolutely. One Piece Burning Blood, Dragon Ball Fighters, and Shinobi Striker.
Yeah, well, and Naruto and Dragon Ball Z have had a ton of different fighting games throughout the years.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would have been really happy if they had just added like Naruto and Sasuke and moved on. I still would have been happy.
Yeah. Because like there are so many Jump series that aren't represented at all right now.
Yeah.
Zabuza is a much better choice.
Yeah, Zabuza is way better than Kaguya.
That is so true.
You want to bring in the American audience to this game? You want to bring in the American audience to this game? You put Zabuza in there. Do you know there are people that never watch the rest of Naruto that you mention Zabuza to them and they just go, "Oh man."
That's the best arc in the whole show.
Yeah,
in my opinion.
Zabuza Momochi.
Best arc. And it's so early on.
And, like, I'm happy to see, like, Dai be confirmed. I wish we got this information from them instead of from Instagram. I wish they would just announce these characters. Because...
Like, yeah, at this point, just release the full roster.
Like, I feel like they're waiting to try and make it be this big right before launch. Hey, here's everybody that's in the game. But at this point, your beta went so badly. Like, build faith again and just go, here's everybody. You know?
But if they come out like the week before the release and are like have this big spectacular,
that's what they're gonna do.
Like, here's the last characters, and they say Kaiba, Dio, and All Might, just even those 3.
Yeah.
Then it's a seller.
Yeah. I agree. How My Hero's so popular right now. How have you not announced that Bakugo is in this?
Yeah.
I feel like Todoroki is such a great pick.
I mean, they might as well just put 6 characters from My Hero in too, right?
Well, to be fair, they needed all those slots for Piccolo and
and Trunks.
All the Dragon Ball characters.
You know, Trunks, the character that everybody wanted to play in Jump Force, and not Vegeta or Goku.
Yeah. Wait, who's in the game?
Vegeta, Goku, Trunks, Piccolo, Frieza, and Cell.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's what I figured. No Kid Buu, no Cell for me.
I don't understand. Like, you have... This game is a guaranteed sale if you market it correctly. And they're just not.
Yeah.
And at least Jotaro's in there. You know what? One of my biggest complaints that a Jojo was not in there has been covered. I do have one problem with Jotaro, though.
What's that?
You see where his hat ends. They clearly show that the hat curves and his hair does not spike up behind. And that's not Jotaro. Jotaro, from issue 3, his hat and his hair have been indistinguishable in the second half of it, and you do not know where one ends and the other begins. And in the Instagram picture that has Jotaro standing ready to fight, he is in his Eyes of Heaven colors, which tells me they probably used that model. And the hat closes around the back of his head. And I immediately got disappointed. Because that's like, it's such a, like, Jotaro thing, you know? Like, it's in every issue of every part of the series after, like, you see it for the first time. Araki made sure to draw it merged, so you would never know. And then they're like, yeah, let's add him to this game, and, you know... Chat's just like, why? Oh. Well, since we're talking about JoJo, might as well move this one up and chain it together. Because you want to know what game his hair is right in? JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Last Survivor, the Battle Royale. That's in arcades in Japan.
What?
Yeah. I watched 12 minutes of gameplay for this game. I wish it was coming over here. Because it actually looks like a really good Battle Royale. You can jump through windows to get into houses to escape people. They can jump in, of course, as well. You can open doors. Unlike in a regular Battle Royale, where you start and like you never know what kind of weapons you're gonna find. You choose your character in Last Survivor, and your character comes with their stand. So my whole idea of stand this out the window doesn't matter. So you can play right now in the like beta version they have out in a couple of arcades for trial. You can play as Jotaro, you can play as Bruno Bucciarelli, you can play as Koichi, you can play as Kakyoin, or you can play as Guido Mista. And those 5 characters alone, if you've never seen Jojo, Jotaro's ability is to hit things really hard and really fast, but it has to be real close. Like he's got a super short range stand. Bruno's ability is the ability to disappear into other things and pop up elsewhere. He can do that in the game. Koichi's ability is the ability to make things a lot heavier than they were before. He can do that in the game. Guido Mista, his ability is called Sex Pistols. It's just a gun that has 6 bullets that are stands, and he can fire them and they can curve and go after people. That happens in the game. And then Kakyoin's is Hierophant Green, and he can like shoot these bombs of energy that explode. And so you ask, Time Stop actually works in it too, I'll get into that in a second. You ask, how do you play a Battle Royale when it's so dependent on like being able to hear people's footsteps in a loud arcade in Japan? How could you play that? Yeah. Well, see, there's this thing in JoJo where when characters appear and are evil, the menacing symbol, like the onomatopoeia that Japanese books use for menacing for comics, pops up. In the game, when you take steps, your own footsteps give off the menacing, and other people's footsteps, their shots, menacing, like that symbol pops up in the world. So you always have it on screen where people are if they're doing things. If they're moving, it's a lot smaller and you have to be a lot closer. It's such a clever way to do that to make it work in an arcade. Then you have the fact that it's 20 players only. You have the so it's like real, like intimate almost. You have the fact that at the start of the match, Darby, the gambler, because why wouldn't it be him, goes, where do you want to go? Like, where do you want to start? And you put down a chip, and you put down 3 chips, and Darby chooses one of those spots to launch you in. And you're playing in Moriocho, the town from Part 4, and it's the town from Part 4. So if you know Part 4, you know your way around that town already. This is like a JoJo fan's dream of a Battle Royale, right?
It looks awesome.
And so you get in there, and Darby goes, start the game. And you get in there, and the gameplay that I've seen is all from Jotaro's perspective, playing training mode. So, like, a lot of it is bots that he's fighting, which is why he kills them so easily. But at one point, you get score. When you kill somebody, they drop a chip. And if you pick up that poker chip, it builds up your super. And Jotaro's super is Star Platinum the World, which is a time stop. And so, for a brief radius around him in an AoE, if you're caught in that, you're frozen in time for 6 seconds. And it's 6 seconds because that's how long Jotaro can freeze time in the manga. And so Jotaro has 6 seconds to try and get to you and kill you, you know? And everybody has an ultimate like that. It's such a crazy... Everybody has at least 2 stand abilities and a movement ability. It's so insanely detailed. I'm super upset it's not coming over here. I really want him to move this game over here because it looks like the best Battle Royale I've ever seen.
I know, it looks awesome.
But, yeah, that's JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Last Survivor. The plan from what they were saying is to have at least 30 characters playable. Which means 30 different stands.
And for it to never be available.
Yeah, I mean, it's always going to be in arcades. It's not a console game at all. Maybe if it does really well, they'll consider making it a console game, and if it is a console game, then I can import it. But, you know, until then. But I saw that footage after hearing about this and was like, that's going to be terrible. And saw that footage and was like, no, this is, like, they did it. And it makes me excited, because Battle Royales have really taken off in Japan. And so I want to see what other ideas they come up with, you know? And I'm really looking forward to see if they do a Gundam Battle Royale like this.
That'd be awesome.
That would be so cool.
I guess we can move on. I'll stop gushing about how cool this game I'll never get to play looks. Need to take a trip to Japan. We'll take the camera. We'll go. We'll go and we'll play that game. King points out in the chat that they have said that there's only going to be 100 to 150-ish skills in Jump Force. I feel like they must have done their math wrong when they said that, King, because they've already confirmed there are 37 playable characters, and if everybody has 4 skills, that's a lot more than 150. Isn't it? 120? No.
37
no, that's 4. Not. That's just barely 150 at 37. Yeah, so it's just barely over that. So that's probably pretty close then. It'll probably actually be like 40. 40 characters probably then. Surely more than that. I hope so. I hope at least 50 characters.
Well, yeah, they're doing DLC.
Oh, that's right. They are doing DLC. What if Kaiba's DLC? What if Kaiba's day 1 DLC?
Pre-order
If
only.
they do day 1 DLC, I'm gonna be so upset.
Pre-order exclusive for 6 months.
Seto Kaiba. So, speaking of upset, there's a new Assassin's Creed DLC for Assassin's Creed Odyssey, and people really like Assassin's Creed Odyssey. I've been really thinking about getting it. King, don't you dare say that. The thing that you just said in the chat. Dio will not be day 1 DLC. People really like Assassin's Creed Odyssey, to the point where, having listened to a bunch of people's Game of the Years and their thoughts on the game, I kind of want to play it now.
Yeah.
But in Assassin's Creed Odyssey, you get to make your choices with your character as to whether you want to get in a romantic relationship or not. You know, that's all up to you. The game does not, in the main game, ever do anything that makes you have to choose. You get to choose that. Your Alexios or Cassandra can be whatever you want them to be, right? In this new DLC, they revoke that choice. And they basically say, hey, did you want your Alexios to be, like, focused on his mission and not spending any time with anybody? Too bad. He's got to have a kid, so here's a female character that he's got to wind up with. Or did you want your Cassandra to also be focused on the mission? Too bad. Here's a guy. She's got to have a kid. Why?
Why do they have to have a kid? Why not just make a different DLC?
So, the purpose of the child, I believe, is to pass on the bloodline for the Animus. The problem is, and I feel like they forgot this at Ubisoft, they specifically stated in 4 Black Flag that they no longer needed to make you go to your ancestors' memories, and all they needed was the person's DNA.
Yeah.
Like, they state that. You are still in your ancestor's body when you play as Edward Kelly, but they state that it didn't have to be Kelly.
Yeah.
Like, the comment that is made is, if something happens to Kelly before he gets to the apple, we have someone else ready for you to continue on from there.
Yeah.
So there was no need to do this. And it just, like, there's a lot of reasons this was not okay. The big one for me is that it revoked player choice, you know?
Yeah.
Like, that, I didn't play the game, but if I had, that would have been my Alexios. And that's not my Alexios, you know? Like,
Yeah.
that would have been my thought on it. The other problem is they also called it the achievement that you get for finishing that mission growing up. Which makes it seem like no matter what decision you made, time to grow up and be an adult and have a kid. So there's a lot of problems there. You know, all I want to say is this is a bad idea in the first place. You should not have done it. They have come out and said, hey, we were real stupid with this. Trust us when we say the next DLC will not change any of your decisions from the main game. But, like, you've already changed this one. This is the pretty big one, right? What else was there to change?
feel like that was a big fail.
Yeah.
I guess we should move on. It's just like, I understand why other people really didn't like it. For me personally, the idea of like, because like I'm single. I'm the only person in this call that's single, but I'm single. And like the idea of, hey, it's time to grow up, get married, and have a kid. Like, oh, thanks. I'm not an adult. I got you. I see what you're saying. Like, you see what I'm saying? Like, that's not cool. Don't do that. You could have called that achievement whatever you wanted. Like, why call it that? Anyway, we'll move on unless you guys have any other thoughts on that.
No, it's just dumb.
Machinima's channel has been erased from existence.
That's fine. They're new blood, right? They don't have a bunch of stuff.
So that's 12 years worth of content gone.
Yeah.
If you wanted to watch the old Super Best Friend stuff, now that the Super Best Friends have broken up, on the Machinima channel, that stuff's gone. You wanted to go back and watch the old Master Chief and Arby's, that stuff's gone. I'm trying to think of what else like big stuff was on Machinima back in the day. Red vs. Blue all got brought over to the Rooster Teeth website, so that stuff's safe. All of the Sanity Not Included stuff is gone. It's a lot of stuff. Like, it's tons and tons. It's thousands of videos. Gone. Yeah, Battlefield Friends is gone. It's a lot. And there are a lot of people that have archived a bunch of that stuff. So hopefully some of that stuff starts popping up again, but sorry everybody. Hate to be the bearer of bad news, but gone.
Yeah.
And speaking of gone, Overkill's The Walking Dead has been postponed.
Oh no.
Forever.
I'm shocked.
You remember when this game didn't release on its release day?
Yep.
And got pushed back, and now it's been pushed back indefinitely. It's not happening anymore. They realized they made a bad game, and I guess just decided it wasn't worth putting out. So good job.
Yeah. I hope they got paid.
I hope they did too. It's a lot of money down the drain.
They got paid. And they get paid whether the game.
So
there may have been some kind of bonus that they may have missed out on.
Yeah, I'm sure the Metacritic bonus or whatever it's called.
Yeah, but this game wasn't gonna. Go high anyways.
Yeah. So the last piece of news that I have shouldn't be funny, but I find super hilarious, and it shows how much of a terrible person I am. Atlas, you remember Atlas, the game that some of us were hyped for that was not great. They took the servers offline again so that they could fix them for a little while because some hackers took over the servers.
There you go.
They got admin privileges and took over the servers. Don't know how that happened. They spawned elephants and World War II tanks all over the map. They changed the game code from having patch notes to say subscribe to PewDiePie. They spawned these elephants and tanks
that's a meme.
in the sky so they were constantly falling on stuff.
Real quick, I really want to just say that how much I love that subscribe to PewDiePie has become a meme.
I agree. It's really funny when you just see it. You just see it pop up. So yeah, Atlas, I almost said Anthem, has been pulled back so they can do maintenance, emergency maintenance to fix everything. And the thing is, had this been malicious of like, we're just gonna do this to mess everybody else up, I would have been kind of upset with it. But people aren't happy with that game. They're not happy with what they were promised and the fact that that game is not what they were promised. And this is just more of trying to remind the developers, like, hey, this is not what we wanted.
Yeah.
We're gonna make our own fun with this game, I guess. And they did. And they did. So that is all the news that I had. Did we want to do the thing that I referenced in the group? Or did we not?
No.
Okay. I know you're pretty tired. I don't know Pat's pretty tired.
Yeah, I don't know why. I'm like exhausted.
I understand.
It's all like community service.
Wish you guys would both like get out of the Yakuza. It's gonna cost you your pinkies. I almost said kidneys, but like
I can't lose what I don't have.
No. So yeah, I think that's gonna be a podcast unless you guys have any plugs.
No.
I would plug the Easy Allies, as I feel like I always do. Their Game of the Year deliberations were really good. 6 hours long. As they went over like all the stuff, all of their awards. They had 18 awards, I believe. And they had, of course, 9 people, or 8 people, because Dom wasn't there. So it led to a little bit more discussion and a little bit more argument than what we had with ours, but it was a lot of fun. And some tensions got high in a couple places, but, you know, by the end of it, everybody was laughing, having good fun with each other again. Mostly because 2 people really hated Red Dead.
Yeah.
Would you like to guess who those 2 are? Because I will fully admit I was in that camp with both of them, with everything they said was correct about it.
Who?
Kyle Bossman and Ian Hink.
I knew Ian was on there.
And I was completely with them with every, like, they weren't just being hateful, they were, like, making points. And their points were good. I agreed with just about every point they made about Red Dead and the problems it had. But yeah, it was a good stream. Any other plugs?
There's this guy, his name's Mage on Mars. He used to be on Vine, and then he went to Twitter and YouTube after Vine closed down, sadly. He like he's like, I guess he likes to move people and like wants people to like be positive about themselves and other people. And he started this campaign called You Matter, where he sells like jackets, hoodies, and like he just did a Valentine's special that's still going on. I don't know if they're sold out yet or not, but it's like a little teddy bear that has a shirt that says You Matter on it.
That's cool.
He's one of the people that really helped me with my depression when I was younger. Like just seeing him and watching his videos like really helped me mentally and emotionally. And so if there's any weird small way that I can support him, I'd like to. So if you haven't seen his content or you want to buy a You Matter hoodie, you should go check out his Twitter or his YouTube channel.
Yeah.
His name is Mage on Mars.
On that note, I should probably do this call out because I have not been secretive in the past about how I feel about H Bomber Guy's content with his videos and how smug he is in all of them, and his call out to Matthew Matosis and how he was really a jerk to Matthew Matosis, who I think just about everybody that writes long scripts on YouTube really respects. H Bomber Guy did a live stream to raise money for people that were struggling with transitioning, that were transgender, and did a great live stream. It was good. He raised a bunch of money for charity, and I just want to give him a shout out because he played Donkey Kong 64, even though that game is terrible, to 101% over the course of almost 40 hours nonstop. He never stopped playing, never took a nap, never stopped to eat. Had people bringing him water, you know. He had people like come in for interviews. Whether I like the man's content or not, he had a great stream where he raised a lot of money, and I want to give him a shout out for that.
Yeah, that's awesome.
It definitely raised my opinion of him, and maybe I need to give his content another chance. Or maybe I don't. It's okay not to like somebody's content and still to like them, you know? Like, people are not the things they write, you know? Like, people are still people. Just because they make something doesn't mean... You should still watch Rurouni Kenshin, is what I'm saying. And with that, we're out. Anything else we missed, guys? With all that said, I have been Trey.
And I'm Pattrick.
And we'll be back next week with another exciting episode of the Full Spectrum Podcast. The schedule! I did forget something. Tomorrow's Tales of Vesperia Definitive Edition. The Wednesday will be D&D if we can. If not, it will be Gunpla building because the parts came in for the camera. Thursday will be Red Dead Redemption 2. Friday will be Kingdom Hearts 3. And Saturday will be Gundam Game Day. Hope everybody's excited.
Wait. What do you mean you're playing Kingdom Hearts 3 this?
Friday's the 26th.
The game comes out the 29th.
No, it comes out the 26th. Right? Am I wrong? Hold on. Checking this live. Alexa, what day does Kingdom Hearts come out? It releases Friday the 26th, right? Yeah, it releases the 25th at midnight. 25th at midnight. What are you talking about, Andrew?
Man, I don't know.
I was like, what?
Somewhere. So it releases the same day as Resident Evil 2.
Yep.
Huh. Gonna be okay.
So everybody get hyped for that. I will have a rolling chat command ready that on Twitch side you can just put !KH and it will link to the story recap video that I made, where at any time anybody that's struggling with the story and catching up, that video will be available because we are not going to take the time to fully explain that story. We are going right in. So if you have not seen that video yet, you should.
Hypothetical question.
Yep.
When it comes to the stream. Hypothetically, if somebody else went into OBS and went to stream while there was already a stream going on, would that hijack the stream?
Yes. I can revoke your permissions, though.
Welcome to Friday Resident Evil 2, everyone.
We could set up multi-stream, though, with it.
No. Play Resident Evil 2. Come on.
I think everybody wants to watch you play Resident Evil 2. And then Saturday, of course, is Gundam Game Day. So please be excited for that. The schedule, as always, is available and will be updated anytime that it would become a problem or anytime that something has to be moved. So please check it often. I'm copying it over to the YouTube side and the Mixer side. Because, by the way, don't know if I remember to mention it or not, but we're now on Mixer. We've been on Mixer Live this whole time. Nobody's commented, but I know you're there. We appreciate you.
Yeah.
So you know.
Nobody's commented.
Well, there are viewers. There's just not anybody commenting. Bunch of lurkers.
Oh.
And that's okay. It's okay to lurk. It is okay to lurk. Yeah. Artaka says, why can't I watch both? I mean, you know. Hey. With all that said, though, we'll do the outro again now that I remembered the thing I missed. I have been Trey.
I'm Pattrick.
And we've been the Full Spectrum. And remember to always enjoy the full spectrum life has to offer. Guys, what if Kingdom Hearts doesn't come out Friday? What if it just doesn't come out?
I'm gonna play Ace Combat 7 multiplayer.
You should.
Probably
It's really
tomorrow.
good. It's really good. You should.
Yeah, I don't know why. Kingdom Hearts 3, I kept seeing the 29th for some reason. I don't know why. I thought it came out like the Tuesday after.
It's Friday.
Huh. I have less time to think about if I want to buy it or not.
That's true. I bought the slightly more expensive version that came with Kingdom Hearts 1, Kingdom Hearts 2, and all the like cutscenes for the other games for like $80. Because that's a dang good deal. I am down for dailies after this, King, and then I need to do my dailies in 14 because I got home right before the podcast, basically. We did some Fire Emblem and then podcast time. Go ahead, Andrew.
I bought the deluxe edition of RE2
Yeah?
because you can swap to the original soundtrack. $10 more.
Got property taxes this month, though.
You don't.
I gotta do as Ubisoft told me to and grow up. So
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I've had to pee the whole podcast.
I really need to go to the bathroom too. We should call this. See you later, everybody. Post show's done.
See ya.